Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to Thomas Free Me TV and podcast show. I pray that everybody's blessed and happy on this Saturday morning. Cold here, cold in the Tampa Bay area, but it's cool because I get to pull out some gear, man, that I don't really get to wear that much. But it don't need to get too much colder. You know, I'm a Florida boy, so. But anyhow, I'm going to just touch bases with you. Let you guys know that I reviewed the opening statements on the Ahmaud Arbery case, the trial. So I watched the opening statements, and I have a few strong opinions on it. Here's another case again of, in my opinion, the overzealousness of the prosecutorial mind. That in this opening statement, the prosecutor went on for, I think, a total of approximately an hour and 45 minutes for an opening statement. So much is so that, of course, the defense, it just threw a whole monkey wrench into the start of the whole process. It was uncalled for. It was not needed. And I think it had the complete reverse effect than what the prosecutor really intended. There was no need for it. There was no need for her to go into the gruesome details that early. I don't know if she was going for shock value with the jurors to instantly get them to hate the defendants. I really don't understand what her game plan was. For me, it's so cut and dry, and that you could have just went in there and your opening statement just been, the state intends to show that these defendants are guilty of murder, and sat back down. And I think that would have had more of an effect. Sometimes little is more. She gave way too much. Crazy. It's like she just went in, and I honestly don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what the game plan was, but I think it had a reverse effect. So she, ultimately, what ended up happening, if you guys aren't up to par with the news as of late, the prosecutor, the state for Brunswick, Georgia, in the prosecution of the murderers of Ahmaud Arbery, she opened her statement with pretty much the whole trial. She, to me, and my ignorance of the law as far as statute goes, but experience greatly as far as being within the law as a career criminal, I've gone through 4 trials myself, including a 2-week federal trial. She basically held trial in her opening statement. It was she led with what she was going to present. Then she presented all the evidence. Unless there's more, I'm sure there's minute little details here and there, but it was from start to finish all the evidence, and created argument within that. And here I thought that before the defense started objecting, that she was going to hold them guilty and sentence them all in her opening statement. So it was odd. It was bizarre. She did a good job laying the facts out. She was confident, of course. She's a prosecutor. You could tell that she is a prosecutor, and that know what I'm talking about. The mind of just relentlessness, because a prosecutor has the confidence and the backing of the United States, of the most powerful entity of our country. It's not the people anymore, it's the government. Again, this is why I bring this broadcast to you guys, to awaken my American citizens to how powerful we're allowing the government to become, and how much of our power we're giving away. So this is the bravado of a prosecutorial mind, knowing that they can do whatever they want to do and there's no repercussions. So maybe this was her game plan, again, because a prosecutor can go in there and do what they want to do and get away with it. For example, it was just shown in this here. So this prosecutor, had her opening statement for an hour and a half. They sidebarred. The judge gave his warning about the opening statement going into argument, and hopes that in the future all the presiders give their opening statements, in accordance of time and within the scope of the rules of the court that have been set. Now, mind you, the prosecutor has already rung the bell, as the defense team was saying, like, how do you unring that bell? And they're asking for the same. This is all they were asking for, is the same litigation in return. Are we allowed to have unfiltered, open dialogue, opening statements as the state was allowed? And of course, the judge shot that down. So again, this is the point of what I'm making about the power of the prosecutor within the courtroom and how hard it is for defendants to defend their rights. Now, in this case, we lose sight. Stigma steps in. We are automatically judge these people as guilty, as I have. Absolutely. I feel like these three individuals should be tied behind horses and drugged down gravel roads for 200 yards. And anyone that thinks like that, that just has that mindset. But I'm not the judge, so I'll let him handle that. But the point is, what I'm making is, because we have a case like this, the rights are easily oversought because we have animosity towards the defendants. We watch this unfold in front of us, and we've already judged from what we've saw as these people are guilty, as I have. And that may be 100% true, but we still have to protect their rights, because their rights are our rights. If we allow their rights to be violated, then God forbid, if we are ever in a position to where we want our rights, then our rights could very well be violated at that time, and then we're yelling code red. So again, it's about what we stand for. And in a case like this, the point I was making earlier is the prosecutor could have just stood up and just said, the state intends to prove these defendants are 100% guilty of murder, and that's it, sat back down. Because you know that you have the facts in your case. You have the bloody glove. You don't have to make it more bloodier to add gruesomeness to the crime, because you view it as a heinous and gruesome crime. So it's just sticking, even the prosecutors, you took an oath to the Constitution, which is our Constitution, and that oath was to protect it. And in protecting it, that means you abide by the rules. And in this case, this prosecutor came out and she broke the rules, because she knows that she can. There was no repercussions. And in fact, she was rewarded, because now she got a one-up over the mind of the jurors that the defense team will not be allowed to have. So this is the chess game of trial. This is the war. The defense team got a win when they got 11 jurors and one black person. They achieved what they set out to do. That was their strategy, and they won. So this may have been a retaliation from the prosecutorial team, from the state. The prosecutor said, okay, all right, you got that round, but you know what? We got opening statements, and I got first say. So I'm going to throw all of this shit out there, get corrected by the judge, but I'll have the juror's mind. This could have been a prosecutorial, strategy. These are the games that are played inside the courtroom with your life. This is why I say we cannot put ourselves in these positions for these people to judge us of how we should be tried, how we should be this. We have no control. We have to sit in that big black leather chair and not know what the hell is going on. This is the importance of my show. This is the importance of the awareness getting out and people understanding that this show is for the people. I'm dedicating my time for the people. I do not get a dime. I'm not getting any contributions. I'm not paying any bills, but I'm still here getting messages out to the people because that is how important this is. I see it every day when I'm out in the communities talking to people. Getting into the defense, is raising that it's self-defense, that essentially Ahmaud Arbery has been in this neighborhood. The whole neighborhood knew the kid was in the neighborhood but didn't know who he was. They just kept seeing some kid, around his description in the neighborhood, busting into homes. Things kept missing. There was thousands of dollars worth of equipment taken off in one of the individual's boats. There was a lot of reasoning as to why they chased Ahmaud Arbery that day. It wasn't the fact that he was black. It was just the fact that this was a person that everybody knew they kept seeing in this area, and nobody knew who he was, and things kept coming up missing. And the defense basically stated that there's a witness that states that they saw Ahmaud Arbery in the home that day, and when they made eye contact, that is when Ahmaud Arbery started to run. When he ran, that is when another one of the individuals that was working on the bed of his truck that day saw Ahmaud Arbery run kind of catty-corner through his yard around the bend, and he yelled inside, "There he goes, there he goes." They jumped in the truck and chased after him, and then we know that the rest from that point. This is the defense strategy, is that it was self-defense. That they had the boy cornered, they were trying to give him a citizen's arrest, and he tried to grab the shotgun and it went off and such. One of the defendant's lawyers said that something along the lines as there was a time where a gun was seen on the individual, or Ahmaud Arbery had acted like he was going to pull the gun out, and this is why they perhaps thought he was armed or running around with the gun. So these are going to be the strategies. The sad thing about it is that the state has already given these defendants a major appeal. They already have an appeal coming in on the grounds of the opening statement set by the prosecutor. All three of the attorneys was asking for a mistrial, and the judge denied it. It was kind of up in the air. You really don't want a mistrial that early because no evidence has been shown. The whole point of a mistrial is to have the evidence that was used in the trial thrown out because of the way that it was used or presented or such. So a mistrial in opening statements is kind of really unheard of for the most part. So that just kind of went without not, and it will continue. And they started with testimony from the first witness, which was the first responding officer, which I have not gotten into, and I will get into the next episode. So you guys let me know about these comments. What do you think? Either way, man, I thank you guys for tuning in. Stay blessed on Saturday, man. Please don't be like, Henry Ruggs. Like I tell my daughter, your life can change in an instant. If you've had too much to drink, recognize self-awareness is what we need today. So make sure you're self-aware. Make sure you stay blessed, stay positive, and stay out of your emotions. Be safe, guys. Get home safe. I love you guys. Till the next time. Peace.